Azula always lies, but I can fix her. No, she would actually make me worse. We're going to move on to the black cards now in Avatar, starting with a lesson. We've seen this card before as a non-lesson. Target creature gets -1/-1, and put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. You can choose one or both, so if like you don't have a creature, you don't have to buff one of your opponent's creatures. This is going to be a really sweet combat trick, especially because it is a permanent buff on your own creature. Right now, we haven't seen any +1/+1 counter synergy, but the more you have, the better this also gets, which is pretty nice. I would say it's kind of like a fine basic combat trick in black. I would not treat it as removal for the most part, even though there are a couple like 1 toughness things in the set. You can't fix this level of murderous crazy. Why not? Just look at her. Just look at her. Oh, here's our first card with Firebending. So Firebending is when the creature attacks, make that much red mana. That mana sticks around until the end of combat and then goes away, which means you can use it to pay for instant speed spells, or water bending abilities, or other abilities, like waterbending scrolls. Lots of different ways for you to use firebending mana. In fact, a lot of cards actually have activated abilities that benefit you in combat, like they give you extra combat buffs. She's Rakdos crazy. This is actually a mono black card. Firebending is only in the reminders text where it has a red pip, so you could put this in a mono black commander deck. Azula on the hunt, 4 mana, firebending 2. She's a 4/3, and whenever you attack, you lose a life and make a clue, which is essentially drawing a card because you use her 2 firebending mana to use the clue to draw a card, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. That's like a great sequence of, yeah, she attacks in, she's following those clues, she's drawing those cards. Beetle-headed merchants. You could also keep their tokens for waterbending. You could, and use the mana for something else. Beetle-headed merchants out here in the dunes. A 5 mana 5/4. Whenever this creature attacks, you can sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card, put a counter on this creature. So like you could even sacrifice the clue from this to this. I think it's fine. I like this decently. It's actually not that good as an attacker, though. Though so far, I don't think we've seen any 3/1s. Like, white usually has, like, a 3/1 for 2. I don't think we saw any. That would be, like, the best thing to just block into that. Orzhov usually cares about sacrificing things. Boiling Rock Rioter. This is a rare, a 3-mana human rogue ally. Firebending 1. You can tap an untapped ally you control, including himself, to exile a card from a graveyard. But whenever this attacks, you can cast an ally spell from among cards you own, exiled with this creature. He can reanimate your allies. He can also just be graveyard hate. It can be both. He exiles from either graveyard, but he can only recast the allies from your graveyard that you exiled. Not bad, not crazy either. You do need to attack to, like, potentially bring something back. You still get to cast it. You get to cast it at instant speed. There are 4 total 3/1s in this set. Okay. Are any of them 2 mana? We'll see. I think Firebending is in both black and red. One of them is a 2-mana 3/1. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Boomerang Squad, for looking that up. I think that the card's okay, but it's not like a crazy powerful rare. That's how I'm feeling about this. Buzzard Wasp Colony is a 4-mana 2/2 flyer. When it enters, you can sacrifice an artifact or creature if you do draw a card. That's like the 4th time we've seen that. Whenever another creature you control dies, if it had counters, put the counters in this creature. That's good with the +1/+1 counter synergy. This is one of the first pieces we've seen that actually cares about it. Also, it's a bird insect. Are allies all creatures? No. For the most part, Fire Nation things are not allies. Random other people, not allies. And animals, not allies. There are some firebenders that are allies. So there are exceptions. There's also Appa and Momo are allies. But for the most part, like, the animals are not. They don't have an allegiance. Callous Inspector. She's gonna look at my hands and, like, I don't know, shave them down because they're calloused. Oh no, she is callous. 1 mana, 1/1 with menace. When she dies, deal damage to you and make a clue. Okay. It's not bad. Kind of fun for sacrificey things. I wish it didn't deal damage to you, though. Makes me not want it as much for limited. Canyon Crawler. Man, those things are spooky looking. They did a good job illustrating it here. They're like weird trap jaw beasts. 6 mana, 6/6 with Death Touch. When it enters, make a food. And it has swamp cycling, so you can cheat this into your graveyard, and we haven't seen a reanimation spell yet. Outside of the one for allies that's like attached to your creature that you cast it. We'll see. What's its creature type? This is a spider beast. Cat Gator, which is a fish crocodile. Except it's more like it's a catfish gator, but still. Cat Gator. 7 mana, 3/2 lifelink. When it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of swamps you control to any target. Okay, Gary. Gosh, that is real expensive, but if this is another, like, if you are in mono black, this is a finisher. Dang, I could actually see putting this into constructed decks. Like some brawl decks that are like, I need every single swamp forever and ever. It's very expensive, though, so it's like the kind of thing that, like, you'd probably be like, you want to have that many lands, but you'd still want to cheat it into play so you can, like, blink and reanimate it. Yeah, it's kind of like Corrupt, but it's on a 3/2 with lifelink. So, like, Corrupt also gains you the life. And is that 6 mana? And this is 7. That's pretty cool. I don't know how I like it in limited, though. I actually don't think I like it much at all. I feel like if this were a 6 mana creature in limited, the difference between 6 and 7 is weirdly huge. Yeah, you can Urborg it. You get life from the nuke? Yeah. It deals the damage, and it has lifelink. It's not unplayable in limited. It's just a lot better if you're in mono black, which you probably don't want to be in limited. Corrupt Court Official, another fun reprint. They actually reprinted this in what, like New Capenna or something? But they're bringing it back again now. It was like a Portal 3 Kingdoms card. It's a burglar rat. It enters, opponent discard. It's fine. It's not an ally or anything. It's fine. You can sacrifice it later. Daily Indoctrination. Doing a little bit of brainwashing. Just a little bit of brainwashing. 2 mana sorcery lesson. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land permanent card from it. That player discards that card. Okay, that's on rate for that ability in limited. Or you can Earthbend too. So I guess that's actually just good flexibility because at the end of the game, your opponent doesn't have cards in hand. So this gives you something to do. Lets you make a 2/2. Flavor text is, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. Yeah, because there's no war in Ba Sing Se, guys. What war? There's no war in Ba Sing Se. Just a little brainwashing. As a treat. Yeah, that's Jet in the chair. Day of Black Sun. This is the eclipse. The solar eclipse robbed firebenders of their ability to firebend, giving Team Avatar an 8-minute window to storm the capital and defeat the Fire Lord. Except, the Fire Lord knew about the eclipse and was in hiding. So that didn't work out. Each creature with mana value X or less loses all abilities. Destroy those creatures, I should say, until end of turn. They die. Does giving a creature regenerate in response work? I don't think so, because I think that the regenerate shield might get ability removed. I don't know. Because it's... Regenerate shield is not an ability, it's like a status. Maybe it doesn't. This is why I don't mess with regenerate. This is why I don't mess with regenerate. Because the shield's a replacement effect. Okay, so it would not work on something with regenerate. Thanks. Deadly Precision. People were talking about May before. 1 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, pay 4 or sacrifice an artifact or creature, destroy target creature. I wish this were instant speed. I always wish these were. But at sorcery speed, this is okay and limited. We have clues. We have ally tokens. We have, like, corrupt court officials to sacrifice. Not the worst. The art's super good. It's also, you can just cast her for 5 mana. You're also going to notice that no cards in this set say or Planeswalker, I believe, because there's no Planeswalkers in this set. Yep. Yep. Oh, does it lose the regenerate shield? Okay, chat's debating it. Epic Downfall got a cool reprint here. Ugh, yes, she's the best. Just chain her up. Let her breathe fire. She's doing great. She's doing great. 2 mana, sorcery, exile target creature with mana value 3 or greater. This is like the kind of removal that you run like one of them in your deck, and you have it in your hand at the start of the game when there's nothing that has a mana value 3 or greater, and it just pisses you off so much. That said, later on, it's a cheap way to remove something at sorcery speed. Not the best removal, not the worst. Fatal Fissure. 2 mana instant. Choose target creature. When that creature dies this turn, Earthbend 4. I typically don't like these abilities that much. You like use them right before something would like die in combat, or like before you sacrifice them, but I find that they're really tricky to work with in limited. That said, like a 2 mana Earthbend 4 is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Fire Nation Drill. This is a vehicle. A 4 mana 6/3 with crew 2 and trample. When it enters, you can tap it. If you do, destroy target creature with power 4 or less, which is most creatures in limited. You can also pay 1 permanent your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Man, I wish it said or ward. You don't like the art? That's what the drill looks like. Hate to tell you that. They could have had the drill, I don't know, at the wall maybe. This can kill the wall of Ba Sing Se. Oh no! Because it does manage to breach part of the wall. In the episode, this is actually a successful way to breach the walled city. But they break it apart from inside by messing it up with water and collapsing like the substructure. I like this for limited. It's a kill spell on a vehicle. It can technically be your commander. Yeah, removal in the command zone. How do I feel about it as commander? It's probably better than Essica's Chariot. Less synergy. Still cool. Fire Nation Engineer. He's inside of this. 3 mana 2/3 with Raid. There's a card with Raid in this set? I mean, if it was in Foundations, I guess it's good anywhere. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature or vehicle you control. So this does not need to attack. It's just anything needs to have attacked to trigger Raid. Huh. You need to have other creatures, though. Oh, this is the one on the airship? You could use him to crew the drill. Good. Oh yeah, a lonely worker can find trouble making friends on an airship so massive. Looking at the flavor text. Look at his big arms. Fire, Navy, Trebuchet. What's this tray bucket do? 3 mana, 0/4 Defender Reach. Whenever you attack, create a 2/1 colorless construct artifact token with flying named Ballistic Boulder that's tapped and attacking. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. All right. So we actually had a card just like this in Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah, somebody else is saying, isn't that a Lord of the Rings card? Mordor Trebuchet was... Oh my god, it's almost exactly the same, but it's a 0/4 instead of a 1/4, and it's whenever you attack with anything. Also, this one has reach. I think because of the number of cards in this set that can sacrifice the 2/1 construct after, this gets a lot better. I think this is a solid card for limited. Also, it's a 0/4 with reach, so block flyers. Chat says, Grand when? Is this not grand enough for you? Boggy Swamp Hunters. 4 mana, 3/4. Human Ranger ally, as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, gets Menace and Lifelink. Neat. You can reskin the drill as Grand, and honestly, it's still very thematic. They are both large, battering vehicle type things that get into strongholds. No Grand. Foggy Swamp Visions. Oh, we love when we hallucinate. It's so fun. 3 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, Waterbend X, so tap a bunch of stuff. Exile X. Target cards from graveyards. Ooh. For each creature card exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of it. They don't get haste. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice those tokens. Ooh, that's cool! How do I feel about this for limited? I would not play this in limited at all. That said, this is really cool. I think that the design on this and like what it's doing is really interesting. And it's the sort of thing that, like, if I were building a standard semi-crime kind of deck and I just want to steal the abilities as like a one-off from graveyards, this is a cool way to do it. Yeah, you get a repeat of the Enter the Battlefields. You could reanimate the new Gary. Yeah, but as a rare, like, I just wouldn't take this. I think that because it's also like Waterbend X on top of it, I don't think you need graveyard hate that much from what we've seen. Heartless Act. No! First you do it to the kitty bird and now to Appa. Two mana, choose one. Destroy target creature with no counters or remove 3 counters from target creature. It's pretty good removal unlimited, but it's also, look at how sad it is. You let him go. Free him. Might also see some constructed play depending on what's being played in standard. This is so Heartless Act. I will say this. In a world of bristly bills and moss-born hydras, it's a lot worse. Sorry. We have other removal now. Hog Monkey. It's a board, it's a monkey. 3 mana, 3/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it, it's Menace. You can also exhaust 5 mana. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on this monkey. Curve Filler. Judy, one of many. Adequately creepy. Adequately creepy. 2 mana, 2/2. Human Advisor, black tap to surveil 1. And create a token that's a copy of this creature. Then sacrifice an artifact or creature. Activate only as a sorcery. This is such a weird card. This is a named creature who isn't legendary, which actually makes sense. So Judy, one of many, as the name implies, is not one person. She's a series of brainwashed individuals who are there to help enact the agenda of Bossing Say's, like, hidden government. This is a very cool card mechanically. You can use this to get when blank dies abilities. You could use this to turn, like, clues into 2/2 creatures. You could use that to, yeah, you could use that to get, like, extra black devotion, I guess. Very cool. You want this art in full? I don't know. To me, I don't love the foreground Judy, but I love the background ones. I don't know, something about, like, her face is extra freaky. But, like, she's supposed to be creepy. There is no war in Bossing Say. No, this is very cool, though. And I like what it's doing mechanically, and I would like to see what people do with it. One of the recent books had Jin looking for one of her missing friends who became a Judy. Oh no! Jin was the girl that Zuko went on a date with, right? I'm sorry, that Lee went on a date with? June! Yeah, June is hot. June's the bounty hunter. Look at her name. June, bounty hunter. Who rides around on this, cool, like, anteater beast thing. 2 mana, 2/2. Human mercenary. She's an outlaw. Can't be blocked as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. You can pay 1, sacrifice another creature to create a clue. Activate only during your turn, but you can do it at instant speed. So, like, you could swing in with something and sacrifice it if it's blocked and would die. My Shirshu can smell a rat. They also put the Shirshu on a card, I think, in Jumpstart. And then Face Stealer. One of the coolest, I guess, villains of the show. This is a spirit. It's in the spirit realm. And Aang has to steal himself so he does not flinch at the Face Stealer. This is a shapeshifter spirit, 6 mana, 6/6. When it enters, you exile up to 1 target creature. Ideally, your opponent's creature, because it's gone forever. You can also exile a creature whenever it dies. Okay. You pay 1 life, choose a creature card exiled with to gain all activated and triggered abilities of that card. Yeah. Also has a really, like, cool voice. It's the, oh gosh, it's the same guy who voices the Star Elf in Dragon Prince, Averos. Is that his name? Yeah, it's the same voice actor. Very cool. Erebos? Was that his name? It's something along those lines. He also looks really cool. Lo and Lee, twin tutors. Or is it Lo and Lai? I don't actually remember. Creepy old ladies. More grannies. It is Lee. Lo and Lee. 5 mana, 2/2. When they enter, search your library for a lesson or noble. Azula. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Noble creatures you control and lesson spells have lifelink. Oh yeah. Erebos from Dragon Prince? That's the name. Thank you. I was like, I know it's A and Rose, but I don't remember the middle syllables. Yes, this is a very good card in Limited. This is fine. I think that being able to tutor is nice on an uncommon. It gives lifelink to some of those spells if they happen to deal damage. It's going to depend on if you have nobles, too. I would not pick this that heavily, though, unless you have things. Then you got May, Scornful Striker. Somebody was asking if I would build this as commander. 2 mana, 2/2 first strike. Whenever a player, any player, casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. I like the Hatertude. Good against storm decks. Just kind of generally good, but has the issue of, yeah, it's Evil Thalia, has the issue of also makes it bad for you if you cast non-creature spells. It's symmetrical. How do I like it for limited? It really depends on what you have in your deck. I would not go after this that hard unless I had a deck with very few like lessons in it. But I am also somebody who's like, I mostly cast creatures anyway. I know what I'm about. And it's a 2-mana, 2/2 first striker, which is fine. Would I build it as commander? Probably not, but I could put that in a deck as like a hater card. Yeah. A 2-mana, 2/2 for first strike isn't terrible, but it's a rare. So it's like one of those, like, I wouldn't pick it over some uncommons. There's uncommons I would rather take than it. Merchant of Many Hats. He's definitely different guys. That the guy who rents you a boat is different from the fishmonger. Why do you think he's the same person? He's not. Human Peasant Ally, 2-mana, 2/2, 3-mana, to return this card from your graveyard to your hand. That's cute. I think that these, like, return to hand, even if it's a kind of pricey ability, it's fine. Like, you can sacrifice him over and over. Northern Air Temple. Oh, a 1-mana shrine. That's good for triggering the other shrines, because they all trigger when something enters, and when it enters. When Northern Air Temple enters, each opponent loses X life. You gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. So a very minimal drain on its own, but a good way to trigger other shrines. Again, I'm not sold on shrines yet in this set. Obsessive Pursuit. Everybody be very disappointed in the boy. 2-mana enchantment. I do actually, this card's kind of cool. This is when it enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, lose a life, make a clue. If only we were drawing a card. Whenever you attack, put X +1/+1 counters on target attacking creature where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. If X is 3 or greater, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Yeah, there's some decks that sacrifice a lot of permanents. And it makes you a lot of clues at the cost of life. Would I play it in limited? Yes. Will I die to it in limited? I'm not answering. Wait and see. Watch me play draft. Yeah, put it in like Yuri and stuff. Oh my god, Ozai. Hello? Sorry, Zuko. I know, like, you're about to experience trauma the likes of which you'll never recover from, but, like... Has anybody shown Voxy this card yet? No? Okay, well, Ozai's Cruelty is a 3-mana lesson. It's sorcery speed, deals 2 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. That's a very good mind rot. You watched me die to Gwenem? It was great. It's great. Ozai should be firebending with his right hand. That's actually true because he puts his right hand onto Zuko's like right side looking at him. He switches hands before he burns him. Phoenix Fleet Airship. This is actually a very strange card. I don't know how to evaluate it for limited other than as a weird cloning vehicle. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. And it is a 4-mana 4/4 flyer with crew 1. But if you manage to get through 8 turns, 8 of your turns, and you make 8 total copies of it, they all become artifact creatures. Sorry. What? It doubles. Yeah, sorry. You have to make it through 3 cards if none of them die, because each of them will trigger, because they're all copies. It's weird, right? So you make a copy. Let's say the turn it comes out, you sacrifice a clue or something. You have 2 of them. Then the next turn, you sacrifice a creature. Then you have 4 of them. And you can also sacrifice one of the airships in order to trigger the other airships. It also, notable for constructed, Triggers on sacrificing lands. Yeah. Doesn't say non-land permanent. If you go down to 7 airships mid-combat, they would stop being creatures. Yeah. Fetch away, my friends. Fetch away. It's cool, though. I would like to try this in Limited. I imagine it will be good enough just because it is a well-statted vehicle. Otherwise, scary flyer, it's like a dragon. And you could crew it with, like, an ally token. You could, like, sacrifice airships in response to a board wipe so they stop being creatures. You could! Yes, you could! Pirate Peddlers! Oh. What are you offering me? 3 mana, 2/2 with Death Touch. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, put a counter on him. Not bad. Fine. This is Death Toucher on its own. Raven Eagle is a 3 mana, 2/3 flyer. It's a bird assassin. Etrata, eat your heart out. You know how hard it is to get a good assassin around here? It's a mercenary bird. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. If a creature is exiled this way, make a clue. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Just a little bonus on that. This seems like a very good bird for Limited. It's graveyard hate that makes you clues. It's a decent enough flyer, and sometimes it'll, you know, you use the clue to draw the cards to drain your opponent for life. Nice. Yeah, this set has so many clue makers. Lonus, eat your heart out. Oh, here's a cool one. Rise of Sozin. This is 6 mana. Chapter 1, destroy all creatures. So be careful in Tom Bombadil. Chapter 2, choose a card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. That opponent shuffles. You do not get to see their hand first. It's notable. Then flip it over, and it's Firelord Sozin. This is a mono black card. Menace, Firebending 3. Whenever Firelord Sozin deals combat damage to a player, you may pay X. When you do, put any number of target creature cards with total mana value X or less from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Stealing, baby. I think this is a very, very good card for Limited because it is a board wipe. Yeah, you could, like, exile lands if there's a land in your opponent's graveyard. Where is it, like, strongest is just, you know, it is a board wipe that on a delay turns into a creature that then steals from the graveyard. Do I think it's fast enough for Standard? Unfortunately, probably not. But again, I don't know what's going to be banned in Standard come Monday because they might ban, like, 30 cards. I don't know. Could you name a basic land? Yeah. But you only exile up to 4 copies. But, like, let's say you know your opponent, this is best of 3, you know your opponent's splashing white, you can exile all their planes. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bans, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's just going to be, like, 1 or 2 cards. I think they're going to pseudo-rotate things. Yeah. Could you play this as commander? No. Even though the backside's legendary, the front side isn't. This cannot be your commander. Shame. Ruinous Waterbending. Taking all of the liquid out of the flowers. Because, hey, it's free water. 3 mana, lesson. As an additional cost, to cast a spell, you may waterbend 4. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. And if this spell's additional cost was paid, when a creature dies, you gain 1 life. It's okay for Limited. Not the kind of card I like playing, but it's a good way to wipe out tokens. Wop. Sold Out. Haru tried to help people and was punished for it. Haru, you're a good lad. This old man sucks. 2 mana instant, exile target creature. If it was dealt damage this turn, make a clue. Sorry, 4 mana instant. I was like, that's not right. 4 mana instant. I'd be busted at it too. Very good limited removal. Especially because it can get you clues. Yeah, it's instant speed. It's exiling. This is good. The worst Avatar character is the old man that sells out Haru. Real. Swamp, Snare, Trap. Just a little closer, nice and easy. Nothing to worry about, we're just fixing to eat you. Sorry, Appa. You do look like some good meat. 3 mana, Aura. Costs 1 less to cast if it targets a creature with flying. Gives the enchanted creature -3/-3. So this is like a Mire's Grasp on a flyer. Or sorry, -5/-3. It's not a bad aura. Very weak against airbending. But, like, it'll kill a lot of things when it enters. So, like, airbending it away wouldn't stop it unless you did that instant speed, like, in response to the target. Do all the Appas have toughness 4 or more? Oh, that's so cute. So it doesn't kill him. It makes him unable to attack, but it doesn't kill him. It's fine removal for limited. It's not as good as this. It's fine. Tundra Tank. 3 mana, 4/4 with Firebending 1. When this creature enters, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Oh, that's kind of nice. It's got a crew 1 on it. Kind of wish it had, like, trample, but that's like, not a terrible vehicle. Vehicles are just kind of rough in general. Like, I wouldn't play this one outside of, like, certain decks that have, like, on-attack abilities, maybe. But it's really hard to, like, put the right amount of, like, creatures versus vehicles then, because you have to be able to crew them. Wolf Bat. It's a wolf, it's a bat. Just look at the creature type. By the way, this is another card to add, like Skeleton Archer, as creatures that have their name as their creature type. Give it up for creatures that have their name as their creature type. Wolf Bat. 3 mana, 2/2, flying. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you can play black. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter. So it brings itself back once. Demon Wall, Dragon Turtle, Wolf Bat, Skeleton Archer. They're all great. We love name as creature type. Chet, just look at it. You love him. What do we have here? Zuko's Conviction. Ooh, the last card in black. Aww. He's so tired. He's just so tired, man. He's been through so much. Caught the Avatar. He brought him into this cave. This is when the Avatar was, like, in the Avatar state. This is a 1 mana instant with a kicker of 4. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If it was kicked, put it onto the battlefield instead, but tapped. So this is an instant speed reanimate. Those are typically pretty nice. It does bring it in tap, so you can't use it as a surprise blocker. But it's still, you know, it's flexible. It seems good enough to me. I would definitely play it. Unfortunately, it means that, like, you can't reanimate it and have it untapped unless you put it in your hand and then cast it. Yeah, and so it's, like, not the best reanimate spell. Still pretty nice. And looks like we're ready to do red.